Example 1 for fractions. So what we're going to do first is rewrite this expression, negative 2/9 minus 5/9. Just remember that subtract means to add its opposite, so really this means negative 2/9 plus negative 5/9. Alright, and since we have common denominators, we can combine the numerators. So in this case, it's negative 2 plus negative 5/9. And negative 2 plus negative 5, the signs are the same. We add them and keep the sign. So 2 plus 5 is 7, and we keep the negative and keep the denominator. So negative 2/9 minus 5/9 is equal to negative 7/9. Example 2 for fractions. 1 1/6 minus 1 5/8. So the first thing I'd like to do is to make these fractions improper. And how I'm going to do that is by taking the whole number 1, multiplying it by the denominator. So 1 times 6 is 6, and then adding the numerator, which is 7. So 1 1/6 will be 7/6 minus 1 times 8 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So that'll make it 13/8. The next thing I need to do is to get a common denominator. And how I'm going to do this is by list the multiples of the denominator. So the multiples of 6 would be 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. And the multiples for 8 would be 8, 16, 24, and I could stop at 24 because now I see that it matches the 24 from the 6. So my common denominator is going to be 24. So the next thing I have to do to get a common denominator 24 is figure out what I have to multiply 7/6 by, and then what I have to multiply 13/8 by. In this case, 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So I have to multiply 4/4, which is equivalent to 1, by 7/6. And then for 8, it's 1, 2, 3. 3 times 8 is 24, so I'm going to have to multiply it by 3/3. So 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 6 is 24, minus 3 times 13 is 39, and 3 times 8 is 24. And as you notice, we got a common denominator of 24. So I'm just going to review again. We had to multiply by 4/4 because 4/4 is equal to 1, right? And we multiply by 4 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, or the fourth multiple is 24, and 6 times 4 is 24. And then we did 3/3, which of course is equal to 1. And again, it's the third multiple, 1, 2, 3. Right? So when we get 28/24 minus 39/24, we have to simplify that. And I'm going to make this 28/24 plus a negative 39/24. So now I can combine the numerators, 28 plus a negative 39/24. Right? The signs are different now, right? This is a negative and this is a positive, so we have to subtract the numerators. In that case, it's going to give us 11. And since 39 is bigger than 28, it's going to be a negative 11/24. So 1 1/6 minus 1 5/8 should get us negative 11/24. Example 3 of fractions. Negative 2/3 times 4 1/2. In order to solve this problem, I have to change 4 1/2 to an improper fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 2/3 times 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9 to make it improper. And I keep my denominator, which would make it 9/2. So now the problem is negative 2/3 times 9 over 2. All right. I have two different ways I could solve this. I could either multiply the numerators and then the denominators and then try to reduce it, or I can see what will cancel out first before I multiply straight across. And I'm going to do that. I could see a 2 cancels out with a 2 because 2 goes into 2 one time and 2 goes into 2 one time there. And then I could see the 3 and the 9s cancel out. 3 goes into 3 once and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So this makes it a little bit easier to solve now. I have 1 times 3 is 3, but remember it's a negative, so it's going to be negative 3, and then 1 times 1 is 1. And negative 3 divided by 1 is negative 3. So negative 2/3 times 4 1/2 is equal to negative 3. Example 4 for fractions. 2 3/8 divided by 2. So the first step I have to do is make both 2 3/8 and 2 into improper fractions. I do that by multiplying the whole number 2 times the denominator 8, which is 16, and then adding the numerator 3. 16 plus 3 is 19, and I keep the denominator 8 divided by, and when I make 2 improper, it's 2 over 1. So 19 over 8 divided by 2 over 1. In order to do that, I keep the first fraction, 19 over 8, and I have to switch the division sign to multiplication, and then I have to do the reciprocal of 2 over 1, which now is 1 over 2. So now I have a multiplication problem where I just multiply the numerators, 19 times 1 and 18 times 2. I could check to see if anything cancels out, but I notice nothing does. So 19 times 1 is 19, 8 times 2 is 16. I notice that this is improper, 19 over 16, so I'm going to try to simplify it. 19 divided by 16 goes in once, and I notice the remainder is 3. So my whole number is 1. My remainder is 3 over 16. So it's 1 3/16. So 2 3/8 divided by 2 is equal to 1 3 over 16. Fractions. Sentence frame number 1. Blank and blank have common denominators. You're going to put in the first and second blank fractions that have common denominators. Remember, denominators are the bottom numbers of fractions. Sentence frame number 2. The fraction blank has a numerator of blank and a denominator of blank. In the first blank, you're going to put a fraction. In the second blank, you're going to put the numerator, which remember is the top number. And then in the third blank, you're going to put the denominator, which is, of course, the bottom number. Sentence frame number 3. To make a mixed fraction like blank into an improper fraction, you must multiply blank and blank, and then add blank to get your numerator and keep your denominator. The conversion will get you blank. In the first blank, you're going to put a mixed fraction. In the second, you're going to put the whole number. The third blank, you're going to put the denominator. In the fourth blank, you're going to put the numerator. And then in the last blank, you're going to put what you should have got, the improper fraction, when it's finished.